Hello, this is Henry Harris. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today, we're going to get into session 2 of my book that you see right here, Facing Our Wounds. And many of you have been receiving your copy of the book, and I hope you are thoroughly enjoying it. I hear that it's a blessing to many of you, and I'm so glad to know that, and I'm so glad to hear that because that is the goal. That is my objective. I want to help as many people as I can to not only to navigate through their pain, but to heal as they go. So, as you know, excuse me, as you know, every week for the next 10 weeks, since there are 10 chapters in my book, I'm be coming to you every week to elaborate on each chapter. I'm not going to read it all, but I'll be reading like different portions of each chapter and kind of elaborate my thoughts and kind of give you a little summary of what I mean, about what I'm talking about in each chapter. And this week, which is session 2, we're talking about living in a state of denial. Many people said they really love that chapter. And I'm going to read this part right here, coming from chapter 2. It says, the definition of denial is the action of declaring something to be untrue. If you're in denial, that simply means that you're trying to protect yourself by refusing to accept what's happening in your life, which is, in that case, your wounds. I've said this once and I'll say it again. Not only are we going through pain, which can be our wounds, and that's a painful experience. To be in denial is painful. Denial itself is painful. To convince yourself that the trauma that you've experienced in your life didn't happen, or that the trauma you experienced in your life is not true, when in reality you know it's true, doesn't mean it's going to go away. Just because you deny it or say, oh, it didn't happen, doesn't mean it's just going to disappear. Because you can be in denial about something, and how many know that just because you're in denial about something doesn't change the facts? This did happen to me. I was traumatized in this way. So what this chapter does is it helps you to come out of that mindset of denial and accepting that which is true about yourself and what happened. Another portion of the chapter says denial is part of being a human. I like that. The ultimate reason people are in denial about their wounds is because they are easily to deny than to accept. And I can say that about myself. It is so easy to deny it. It's so easy to say, oh, it didn't happen. I didn't go through that traumatic experience. But it's easy to deny it and push it off than to just accept it as it is or as it happened. We deny death. We deny that a friendship has ended. We deny the truth because it is hard to face. We deny that a marriage has ended. There are a lot of things in life that we deny. But just like I said, just because you deny it doesn't change the fact that it's true. Here go a couple questions that I asked in chapter 2. Do people stay in denial to ease the pain? Or was the trauma so intense that they try to forget it? That's a very good question. Do people stay in denial, which is to reject something that is true about you or what you've went through? Do we stay in denial to ease the pain? Does that make us really feel better? Do we think that eliminates the pain just by denying it? Or was the trauma so intense we just altogether just want to forget what happened? Many of us do the same thing. We sweep it under the rug. I said this not too long ago. Whatever you refuse to confront and combat and deal with, it only gets worse. You may have a wound in your life or something that you're struggling with in your life. To cover it up and act as though it's not there, that is the greatest betrayal, not that somebody else can give you, that you can give yourself. Why? Because you're unwilling to deal with it and face that wound and face that trauma that's in your life. I'm going to read this portion right here that I really like. A man traveled often on airplanes. He asked his assistant if this was the pilot's first flight. His assistant responded, "Yes, but don't worry, because he has been trained and he knows what he's doing." The man smiled at his assistant. "Well, we need to catch another flight." The assistant asked, "But why?" The man said, "Well, I'm not questioning or doubting his flying experiences, but I refuse to be on his plane, not because of his ability to fly the plane, but my fear is if he has never been through a storm or faced any turbulence, especially if this is his first flight, he may not be able to handle the plane." I love his sentiment because this is so true. Because in so many words, because in so many ways, many people who are in denial about their struggles and about their pain, they can't help me. It's easy to talk about something that you haven't experienced. Many people portray an image of themselves as if they got it all together, when in reality, they really don't got it all together. And it's okay to say, "No, I am not doing fine. Yes, I'm in denial about my trauma. Yes, I'm in denial about my pain. I need help." And that's what this chapter does. And that's and like I gave the illustration about the pilot, he wasn't questioning or doubting his flying experience. He may have gotten the best training, but the reality of it is he was still a little insecure, because what if he get up there and he don't know how to handle the turbulence or the rain, or let's say something happens that he's never experienced before? I wouldn't want to be on his plane either. The same way and the same thing applies to our lives today. That if you've never been through anything, you can't help me. If you've never been through a struggle or went through a trial, do you really have a story to tell? I'm going to read this last part. Being in denial doesn't change reality or the truth. You can deny your hurt all you want, but it is still a reality. It is still there. You can hide your wounds, but they are still there. You can say that the sun is purple and persuade yourself it's purple, when in reality we know that the sun is not purple. There are many things in life. I can tell you that that house across the street is blue, when the house across the street is white. It doesn't change the fact or the reality that the house is white, even though my perception of it is blue. You get what I'm saying? The truth about yourself will never change. What you've experienced in your life, the traumatic experience you've experienced in your life, will never change. But the greatest, like I said, it's the greatest betrayal you can give yourself is to deny the very thing that traumatized you. So we have to face that. We have to combat it. We have to deal with it graciously. And we get to process that as much as we can and how we can. We should never tell anyone how to process it. But I want to encourage you, don't be in denial and don't be ashamed about the things that you've experienced in your life and the things that you've endured in your life. Don't be in denial about it. It happened, but whatever happened, it happened. It's the past. You cannot change history. All you can do is just accept it for what it is and as it is, and just move on with your life. So I hope you enjoyed that. Next week, we'll go into chapter 3, and that chapter is called It Takes Time. We'll read different portions out of that chapter, and each chapter leading up to chapter 10, just kind of sharing my heart and some thoughts in regards to the book and to each chapter. And this should be exciting for those who have the book because you can kind of follow along, even though I'm skipping. If you would like to order a copy of the book, you can contact me directly through via Messenger here, or you can go on Amazon.com. I believe they have it in paperback and hardcover. You can order the book on there as well. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for your time. And I'll see you next week as we go into session 3. It takes time.